Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to the show. Tonight, we have a good one here. It is race number 4 of the American Sim Racing Club Race 1 Wrap Street Stock Series here at The Rock. I am Brett the Jet in the booth with Turn 3 Racing Network, and I have my man Carson here in the booth bringing you the action with the Boosted Brothers broadcast. Carson, how we feeling here for The Rock tonight?
I'm feeling good, Brad. Should be some great racing here. A fast track. We'll see a lot of packs develop, and for these cars, it's kind of like a super speedway for them, so it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that it is. We're going to see these guys really utilize the draft as well as trying to keep these cars in one pace here as practice wraps on up. Just a quick preview here. The 44 machine, Carson, once again, quick time here practice on Andrew Payne. And then it is Tim Rogers in the top 3. So may I have to keep an eye out for those 3 drivers here in qualifying right now.
Yeah, good on Tim Rogers in the 48 machine. I think he's a sneaky pick tonight, Brett, to get a podium.
Yeah, that it is. Tim always loves these big tracks, especially back in the day when we were racing a lot of the NASCAR cars here in ASRC. He always had a knack when it came to Talladega and tracks like that. So, like you mentioned before, Carson, this track kind of similar to that where it's going to be a lot of big super speedway racing. So, it's going to be right in his wheelhouse.
Oh, yeah. We've seen him do good at Talladega, Daytona tracks like those in a different series. And tonight for these things, even though it's a mile in a street stock, it's pretty much a super speedway with these cars, so it should be a lot of fun to see what he can do out there in the race.
Yeah, that it is. And Carson, we got a few kind of names jumping in here for the first time this season. One of them being our broadcaster yesterday night or on Tuesday nights, the man himself, Al Smith, out here in the 96. We're taking a look at him here in qualifying.
Yeah, usually in the booth, Brad, and we'll have to see what he does out here on the track. He had a pretty good time in practice, but we'll have to see if that computer will survive the race, Brad.
Yeah, hopefully it does. He's got new hardware in that thing, and hopefully that helps him go a little bit faster. But at the moment, so far, Carson, Zach Coyer and Chuck Darling, same time. Now Al Smith, quick time to the top of the board. Now quickly dethroned, though. Now Zane Cruz, quick time with a 36. Al Smith down the backstretch for the final time now. Steven Rochford to the top here. Jeff Dillon second quick. So Seems like Carson, maybe second lap could have some speed as well, as Al Smith to the stripe for the final time. He does not improve though, so we'll stay in P number 11. Andrew Payne now goes all the way to the top.
Yeah, Brent, so far a bit of fall off with the qualifying times. This track's definitely a track where your first lap won't be your fastest.
Yeah, it is seeming that way, but here we go. We're looking now at the 44 machine, seeing what Zach Nichols can do. Nichols down the backstretch for the first time, so this is first time lap. And yeah, Carson, look at this, 44 throwing away his first lap here. Will run the wall in 3 and 4, so putting all his eggs into this second lap basket, so Zach Nichols needs to hit his marks here. And Carson, that 27.18 pretty quick, but is that good enough for a track record here with the American Sim Racing Club?
Well, Brett, we had a 27.298 as the previous fast lap here, so that is good enough right now, but we'll have to see with Zach Nichols. Oh, and as I'm speaking, he runs a 27.093.
Wow, so Zach Nichols walking away with the quick time there right at the last second at the stripe with a 27.09. That is a flying lap, Carson. So big congrats on Zach, but that means one thing. He has to start mid-pack with the invert here tonight.
Yeah, Brent, if you tuned in this race last season, it was race number 10, and Braxton and Zach had a photo finish. It was 0.02 of a second, and Braxton pulled it out.
Yeah, definitely an incredible finish there the last time these guys were at Rockingham. Hopefully we can do it again here, but one person we do have to talk to here tonight has a special scheme on the car for a kind of a somber cause here. We're going to take a quick moment and chat with the driver of the 45 here with Andrew Hardings here tonight. Andrew, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
I do.
Alrighty, man. So taking a look, not your normal scheme here, running some green and white. Kind of tell us, why you're running that and that sort of stuff here tonight at Rockingham.
Yeah, so Monday night oh, hang on. Tanner's talking in my ear here. I can't really hear much. Oh, give me a second.
Yep, no problem.
There we go. All right, yeah. Monday night I really got the news no one wants to hear. One of my good buddies from a few years ago was the victim in a suicide attempt really at that point. And nobody really knew what the cause of it was, and we were all just kind of left waiting for answers and wondering what happened. And then Tuesday morning around 10 a.m. the news got worse as we found out he passed away in surgery. And due to the self-sustained gunshot wound, and it was very sad to hear because everyone at my school personally, we were all very good friends. He was a great person to be around, and he was one that everyone enjoyed talking to. So it's a really sad thing, and I'm just trying to bring awareness here to the issue of men's mental health and how that it's a thing that people really overlook. So I think it's just something that we need to bring the awareness to, and I'm just trying to spread that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, Andrew, and that's what you're running on the scheme here tonight. So, yeah, I appreciate those words and bringing that awareness because, like you mentioned, it is a very serious thing. It does affect a lot of men here every single day. A lot of people have to go through hardships here, and it can get very, very tough, especially with what everyone has to go through here. So we send our condolences there for you and everyone affected in that sad situation here. But here tonight, hopefully you can get some laps, go out here, have some fun a little bit, and hopefully have a proud finish, let's say, and of course a good looking car for a great cause here tonight.
Yeah, we're doing it for him here today at Lap Car Motorsports, me and Braden. So we're gonna work our way towards the front, kind of starting here towards the tail. So we'll see what we can do.
Alrighty, sounds good, Andrew. Best of luck here for 50 laps here at Rockingham. So you go put on a great show like you always do.
Talk to you later.
Alrighty, well, that was Andrew Hardings with a somber message there. And Carson, yeah, that's something that definitely affects a lot of people here as we head on trackside to go through tonight's grid walk.
Yeah, Brett, that's sad, and I feel for Andrew there. And you know, I think I know his friend isn't here with us anymore, but I think he'd appreciate the tribute. I mean, it's a little thing, but it means a lot. It's just sending that strong message. So I applaud Andrew for doing that, and I feel for him. That's
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine going through that.
Yeah, definitely a hard time, no matter the circumstance with all that, but a great gesture there by Andrew Harding. So now we'll run through the grid here tonight. So on the pole will be the 7 car of Zane Cruz to his outside, Ron Hart in the 51. Then behind them, starting in P number 3, will be the 35. That is Hayden Swank. And to Hayden's outside, the 02 of Jimmy Gauker. Then rounding out the top 5 will be the 38. That is Dave Payton.
And to his outside, starting in P6, it'll be the 88 of Chuck Darling. In the next row on the inside, starting 7th, will be the 52 of Jeff Dillon. To his outside, starting 8th, will be the 18 of Devin McDonald. On the inside of the next row will be, starting 9th, will be the 66 of Stephen Rochford. And then to round out your top 10, it'll be the 48 car, Tim Rogers.
Yeah, then picking up from there, starting P number 11 will be Andrew Payne. And then starting 12th with the quick time will be the 44. That is Zach Nichols. Then behind him is the starting in 13, Ty Delphia with Shane O'Neill to his outside. And then it is Mark Fuquay starting in P number 15.
And then to his outside, starting in P16, will be the 17 car of Greggy Long. Starting 17th, usually in the booth, it'll be the 96 of Al Smith Jr. 18th will be the 013 of Caleb Ramsey. 19th will be the other 13 car of Zach Coyer. And then to round out your top 20 will be the 23 car of Ethan Tyrell.
Yeah, then picking it up from there, starting 21st is Braden Cook. 22nd in that special scheme here tonight will be Andrew Hardings. 23rd going to John DeMeester. And starting shotgun on the field here tonight, Mike McCaskill. And Carson, one of our points leaders, not making the grid. Jaden Kratachi not out on track. So that's going to be a big shakeup here as the field gets ready to take the green flag.
Yeah, he's having computer problems. He was in the session earlier, but was not able to make the grid. So that is unfortunate for Jaden Kratachi. We'll have to see how the points shake out after this race with that.
Yeah, that we'll see. But out front, Zane Cruz leading the field to the green flag. His Owasso Speedway buddy Ron Hart to his outside. And off of turn number 4, there on the loud pedal, we go green flag racing here at Rockingham for 50 laps. Field will dive down into turn number 1. Ron will slot into P number 3. Then behind them, Dave Payton and Gauker side by side. They will drag race down the backstretch. Lap number 1 in the books here. Everyone trying to figure out where they need to go, where they want to run, because like we said, Carson, a little bit of super speedway racing, but we heard from a lot of drivers here in practice that tire management is going to be where it's at, because these right fronts here going to fall off in a hurry with this abrasive track, and especially these bumps in 1 and 2. You can see these cars just bouncing on around.
Yeah, this track is super bouncy, and coming off turns 2 and 4, the car slides up the track really hard, so you got to really be careful on the wheel to avoid hitting the wall.
Yeah, that it is, but battle for the race lead up in front. Hayden Swank trying to waste no time. He goes to the inside of Zane Cruz, so they'll go side by side into turn numbers 3 and 4 here. Swank will have the shorter distance, but Cruz holding his own up top here so far. Cruz will lead it at the stripe, so far Cruz has led every lap here.
Yeah, he had a good run last night. I think he finished third. He definitely was interviewed on the podium, so we'll have to see if he can carry that momentum from last night here into tonight, Brett.
Yeah, hopefully, because he's one of the ones doesn't have too much iRacing experience, has a good amount of racing experience, especially over at the Owasso Speedway, but starting to make it translate just a little bit here. And how about this guy running in P number 4, Chuck Darling, up 2 positions where he started. He came into tonight tied with Jaden Kratachi in the points, so if Darling has a good run, he can once again reclaim the lone holder of the points lead here in the street stocks.
Ooh, we got some contact here further back, some late blocks, Brett, and that's always a risky maneuver.
Yeah, that it is, because you throw a block, especially a late one at that, it gives one, the guy behind you, little time to react, but two, can put you in a really bad spot really quickly here. As we do look to this mid pack here, it looks like now Zach Nichols up into the top 10 right in front of the 48 machine of Tim Rogers. And once again, we head back up to the front. They are side-by-side crews trying to hold his own up top, and these guys kind of know it's go time, because yeah, there could be a caution at some time, but only 50 laps, and it seems like it takes quite a few laps to make a pass on someone.
And it looks like this 44 car is charging up through the field, Brett, on the inside of Stephen Roachford here, going into turn 1 here.
Yeah, that he is to the inside of the 66, so they will drag race down the back straightaway here. Give the advantage to Roachford just by a half bumper there, but man, Nichols will sail it in there deep, get clear of him. Now he sets his eyes on the 38 machine of Dave Payton. And Payton definitely no slouch in these street stocks, Carson. He picked up the win there 2 weeks ago at Martinsville, so the 38 machine does know how to get to victory lane, but now has to give up that spot to the 44. So if I'm Dave Payton, I'm trying to stay glued to the back bumper of the 44, let him do the hard work of slicing through this field here.
Yeah, Brett, and a lot of these guys probably hanging back a little, trying to save that right front with how bad the tire wear is here tonight.
Yeah, but 3 wide further race lead going there into turn number 1. Some guy not saving, that's Ron Hart. He says it's go time now. 10 laps in, Ron Hart to the inside of Hayden Swank, so that will move Zane Cruz back out to the point here, and Hayden Swank's gonna have to go on the defense. So side by side for P number 2, then a little bit further back, side by side for 5th, as Devin McDonald trying to get around the number 2 machine. Looks like Gauker able to defend in the number 2 here, so they will hold their running orders still side by side for P number 2 here, as the rest of the field starts to get strung on out. Here comes now Zach Nichols to the inside of McDonald for P number 6. And it looks like Jeff Dillon also stuck there on the high side in the 52. Looking a little bit further back in the field here real quick, we have the 6 car and the 96 side by side. There's a battle for 18th position here tonight. As right behind them, of course, the 45 car with the special paint scheme on here tonight. Got a chance to talk to Andrew Hardings with that, so of course, like we talked about before, Carson, a great message with that 45 machine, how mental health, especially men's mental health, always matters, and you know, we should always be talking with our buddies, even if we're going through something minor. As we go back up front here once again, and here we go, battle for the race lead. It's front 2 side by side once again, but a little bit of a reverse order. Ron Hart down on the bottom side.
Yeah, and Ron, we know he can put the car anywhere, so he'll be searching all over the track trying to find whatever speed he can to pass Zane here.
Yeah, that he will be, and I'm sure he's seeing in his rear view him and Chuck Darling, you know,
Oh,
see.
we got big junk in turn 2, Brett.
Yeah, it looks like the 2 machine of Gauker will get hit there late and get his nose taken off. I think maybe the 45 machine late in there as Jimmy Gauker facing 90 degrees on the Speedway. Do we have an update? See what happened there, Carson?
Yeah, it looked like Jimmy was coming down a little while Zach was trying to pinch it to his inside and just got into Jimmy's left rear quarter panel and sent him around.
Yeah,
And everyone piled in.
Yeah, it looks like maybe Jimmy was feeling a little hopeful to try and get to the inside of Chuck Darling, and Zach Nichols kind of carrying that momentum that he has been on that inside lane. Had the nose there down low, and then Gauker sitting there on the track, and oh yeah, Harding's a pretty significant hit there late in that yellow. So tough break for Jimmy as he was running inside of the top 5 here, Carson. Now we'll shuffle all the way back to 24th under our first caution flag of the night.
Yeah, Brad. That's just kind of an unfortunate racing deal, and really nothing Jimmy could do there. He just didn't know he's there.
Yeah, should we try and get a word with Jimmy here real quick?
Yeah, we could see. I know he's also streaming on his own channel.
Yeah, we'll try and get a word here real quick with the number 2 and see what he saw. Jimmy, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yeah, I got a copy.
It looked like a lot happened there really quick. What'd you see from out your windshield of this number 2 machine there?
You know, I saw a hole. I've even been starting sliding up inside of the corner, and I was just backing up my corner and just getting a run, and then I don't know if I got hit from behind. I don't know, but just made contact with another car and just spun around.
Yeah, definitely a tough break there, and you know, like we see each and every week, you know, very close racing. It looks like a little bit of front nose damage from that lay in that hit in that incident, but how's the car feeling? Does it still feel all right besides maybe no nose cone on that car?
My RPM's still good. Zach said he's at 1,000, so am I. So I mean, we'll see how this thing is on this next green flag run here.
All right, sounds good. Stay in that draft, but real quick, anyone you want to give a shout out to? I know you're streaming here tonight.
I'll shout out to my mom.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. Well, hopefully, Jimmy, you can drive through the field, and best luck for these last 30 laps or so.
Yep, thank you.
Alrighty, Carson. So Jimmy says RPMs are good, so he's going to stay out there. Didn't even come into pits. We'll have to keep an eye on that pace on the number 2 there.
Yeah, Brad, he had a hard lick right there, so we'll have to see how that car is holding up.
Yeah, so with this restart here, Zane Cruz back out in front here. He will once again, and look at this, kind of a very similar starting order to what we're used to before. Cruz, Hart, Swank still in the top 3 here and still in the same order. So we'll see if we get a repeat of the initial start. As here we go. Oh man, did Ron Hart go too early there, Carson?
Yeah, that's a rule the admins have been trying to crack down on, so we'll have to see what the admin team thinks about that.
Yeah, that was definitely very, very close there, so we'll have to keep an ear on the radio chatter here, see if anything's mentioned or anything like that, but that puts Ron Hart out in front. Chuck Darling trying to get something done on the high side here. Zane Cruz as Hayden Swank looking to make it 3 wide. Oh man. Swank will back out of it, maybe just try and, you know, put a little intimidation on Cruz here, but I know Chuck Darling just wants to get a single file here as close as he can, because I'm sure he's thinking big picture even at this point in the season.
I'm amazed the race has been this racy early, Brad. I thought guys would be backing off a little, trying to save their right fronts, but seems like most guys right now are pushing.
Yeah, that it does. Everyone knows it's go time, and that's kind of because, Carson, we're already almost to halfway in this race already here tonight. I mean, laps flying on by here. And another little update, it looks like I see Nichols towards the back. Did he claim that yellow, Carson?
Yes, Brett, he did. I forgot to clarify that, but it was pretty obvious on the replay that he just got into him a little there. Just incidental racing, he was the claim.
All right, good call, good call. I like the claim by Nichols there. As in 1 and 2 there, Tim Rogers making some contact with Steven Rochefort. That puts the 48 machine a little bit out of sorts, and now he's under fire from Payne and maybe even Ramsey here. As how about Caleb Ramsey, Carson, a man on a mission, up 10 positions here. He's already in the top 10.
Yeah, Brett, that car's looking fast.
As
He's running faster lap times than all the guys around him by a couple tenths.
Yeah, as we look back a little bit further, some 3-wide race in action here as Greggy Long through the middle between the 6 and the 23 here. And here comes Andrew Hardings and Al Smith on the apron. Man, some good racing here right around the top 15 here. As Zach Nichols
we got trouble. We got another big wreck going into one, and we got guys ARCA braking.
Oh, that's a big pile up going down the speedway there in turns number 1 and 2, and a lot of cars stopped here. Holy smokes, Carson.
Yeah, it started small, and then we saw a lot of guys just pile in, not looking down the track. That was kind of unfortunate, especially because I know they've talked with these guys about recognizing the wrecks and checking up earlier.
Yeah, so we're going to look at this here very slowly and see what happened. But I think it started all the way around Steven Rochefort here in the 66. We'll try and see what happened going into turn number 1. And seemed like the better half of the field involved. And, oh, man, off the nose of the 93, the 66 goes around. And then we wait for everyone else to come in, because then Andrew Payne gets piled into, and that's kind of probably the secondary wreck is, Tim Rogers goes for probably a big hit further on down the track. We'll take a look, see what happened to Rogers there later, because that seemed like a big hit for the 48 off the screen.
Yeah, and I know he won't be happy because he had a similar incident last night, Brett.
Yeah, I bet he won't be. As we take a look here, maybe from the chopper view, maybe even TV3 will show it all. But yeah, Payne and the 66 get together. Then Tim Rogers gets right rear hooks. Luckily able to keep that car rotated around. But man, Delphia, Shane O'Neill, Greg Long, Ethan Terrell in there late. I think Al Smith just able to sneak through on the bottom. But man, oh man, Carson, what a bunch of cars involved there. Andrew Hardings in with that as well. Wow. I say we got a ride on board here with Tim Rogers, full speed, and see what happened here. See what he saw, because I bet you he didn't even see that thing coming here. You hear him out of the gas, and then there's that big hit to the wall, and then just calamity coming all around him here. As we'll take a look here. Who's a good car that drives through that wreck, Carson? Maybe the 6 of Mark? Trying to find someone to ride on board with that kind of made it through the wreck.
I mean, hardly any cars made it through, but here, I'll go see Brett.
We're going to ride on board with the number 6 here, seeing that wreck. He even gets bounced around quite a bit, and you can see the calamity up on the high banks of Rockingham, and man, like you said, a lot of cars involved there. Tim Rogers not even facing the right way in the pit box. I think his night's done, but here we go up at front, or I should say up at the front here. Lights are out on the pace car. We're going back green after the halfway mark. So the Rockingham big one struck right at halfway. What's in store here for these last 22 laps, Carson?
Hopefully no more of that.
Hopefully not, as well. As you can see some names now up into the top 10 that we haven't seen up here, as Ron Hart with a great jump there, and Chuck Darling a pretty decent one as well in the high lane. He's going to be able to go door number to door number into turn number 1 with our race leader. It's going to be like old super speedway racing down the back, Carson. 2-car tandems as Chuck Darling gets a half a car nose ahead of Ron Hart going into turn number 3. If Darling can do it, he can pick up, I believe, a bonus point for leading a lap here at the stripe. And that he will do. So Darling, our new race leader, at least that time by. And here comes Hayden Swank up, way up top, trying to make it 3 wide. Once again, a big shot to Chuck Darling there down the backstretch from the 35 of Swank. As Cruz trying to push Ron Hart to the race lead there. They get big time separated here. So as long as they have a good run here. And how about these guys, Carson? Look at these names. Al Smith, 5th. Braden Cook, 6th. Mike McCaskill in 8th. I mean, how about some runs for some of these guys if they can hang on to it?
Yeah, Brett, names we haven't really seen in this series running up in these positions. And for them, it would be, for some of those guys, it would be a career night.
Yeah, that it would be here, but up in front, you can throw a blanket over these 4 cars as these guys racing their hearts out, putting on a show up front. These guys racing very, very close to each other, but very respectful here. As no elbows out racing just yet. Maybe a little bit of contact right there as I say something, but some great racing up in front. Here we look a little bit further back as the 06 here is trying, the 6 machine, trying to race his way up into the top 5 to the inside of Braden Cook. So up in front, the top side started to come apart a little bit here as Ron Hart and Zane Cruz out by themselves here. And now Hayden Swank trying to go around the inside of Chuck Darling as we get a caution flag for the 3rd time here tonight, Carson. We will try and see who it is with here. It looks like everyone's kind of still rolling here. Don't really see anyone.
It's down the backstretch, Brad. It looks like it's the 013 car of Caleb Ramsey there.
Yeah, Ramsey definitely has no nose on that 13 machine, so we'll take a look here at this 3rd caution of the night and try and see what happened. As Andrew Payne to the top side, Devin McDonald down low, 3 wide. Very tough to do here at Rockingham. And oh man, Andrew Payne almost climbs the backstretch wall there as he gets put into the wall there. Just looks like to me, Carson, some 3 wide racing gone wrong.
Yeah, Brett, looks like Devin claimed that one, and just the 013 was coming down the track, and then Devin in the 18 was going up the track, and they just kind of met in the middle there. Just a unfortunate racing deal, but that happens a lot at tracks like these.
Yeah, it does. And, you know, I think it was more racing deal than a claim, but, you know, we always appreciate a claim. So, good talking there. Is there anyone you want to talk to quick here, Carson, during this caution flag?
Maybe we bring Andrew Payne in.
All right, we'll see. He's definitely had an up and down night here to start tonight, so we'll try and see what the 93 has to say if he's still in. He's at least not in the car, so we'll see if he's got a word here in the booth. Andrew, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yep, I got you.
All righty, man. So kind of a crazy race for you at Rockingham. Tell us a little bit about your night.
Oh man, it's just, I don't know, it's been a struggle. We were making some moves there early, run on the top side, and I don't know if I came down or if met in the middle or whatnot. And And then got the unfortunate back end of a 3-wide deal there for dead last, basically. So sucks to be part of that caution because that one should have never come out. But people are racing super hard, and I mean, I get it. But
Yeah, at least for me, you almost flipped in that last one there.
wow, I guess I know for me I got the wall, but I guess it probably showed a little bit differently on the stream. So I guess we're at a half flip count tonight. So
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think you're about to go green here, so anyone you want to give a quick shout out to on the broadcast?
race 1 wraps, QuickTime Motorsports Media, Home Metal Fab, Postma Flooring, and you guys up in the booth.
Alrighty. Hopefully some better luck here to finish off the race here for you, Andrew.
Yep, thank you.
Alrighty, that was Andrew Payne, but up in front, we go back to green flag racing here as Ron Hart, Zane Cruz on the front row here once again with 13 laps to go. Looks like Cruz will be able to get down to the bottom, Carson. That puts Hayden Swank, first car, up on that top lane. It's heads up, Ron Hart gets in the wall, Cruz down the racetrack. 3 wide into turn number 3 there, and how did they hang on to those race cars?
Yeah, Brad. And that's what I was worried about, because coming off 2 and coming off 4, that car can sail up on you, and then it's hard to avoid the wall once you're just sliding the car and sliding the rear end.
Yeah, that it is. Luckily, these street stock's one of the best cars when it comes to contact here on iRacing. As we saw there, you know, contact doesn't mean instant death as long as you can hang on to it, but as we saw as well tonight, you know, a little bit too much contact and you can send someone in the wrong direction really quickly here tonight. Also during that yellow flag, the 45 car of Andrew Hardings was the lucky dog, so Hardings is back on the lead lap here and battle for second once again. Now it is the 88 of Chuck Darling to the inside of Hayden Swank. Further back here, where did this guy come back from? Zach Nichols trying to take over P number 7 here with this time by at the stripe. It is 10 laps to go.
Zach Nichols, we know he wants to win this championship here in these cars, so right now he's just points racing and trying to pick up as many positions as he can.
Yeah, Nichols last season champion, trying to go back to back here. We mentioned it before, but once again, got to give a shout out here towards the end of this race. I mean, Mike McCaskill running in 9th, Mark Fuquay in 8th, Al Smith 6th, with Battle and Braden Cook here for a top 5 finish. I mean, awesome to see some of these names here where they're running. And also even, I mean, Zane Cruz coming on in here. Last week, or yesterday, excuse me, like you mentioned, Carson, a great run for the 7, now backing it up here in the street stocks with running all day long inside of the top 5.
As Hayden Swank gets a little frisky there with Chuck Darling, moves him up the track, and then Chuck gets into Zane and into the wall.
Oh man, big time bobbles there. Once again, Darling in the middle of 3 wide, now to the outside of Al Smith. Al Smith going for a top 5. Now up into 4th. Here comes Zach Nichols. Will take a peek to the inside and back on out of it here with 7 laps to go. So I'm sure Darling probably not a happy camper there with the move you described, Carson.
No, Brad, he was just an innocent bystander in that one. Hayden kind of stuck the car where there wasn't too much room, and that's what happens sometimes. You clip the guy.
Yeah, so Darling just trying to stop the bleeding here at the end of this one. 1 car in the wall there in turns 1. That's the 38 machine of Braden Cook. That will slide Cook all the way down to 9th here as Zach Nichols here in that 44 just looking for any open lane to try and get around these cars in front of him. Here comes Chuck Darling though with the crossover on the number 7. With these guys battling as much as they are, Carson, the top 2 starting to check on out here. Chuck Darling will get clear. It looks like Cruz might have used up his stuff here. That car seems like it's fading in a hurry.
Yeah, Brett, now stuck 3 wide with Al Smith and Zach Nichols. We'll have to see. With only 4 laps left here, we'll have to see how courteous these guys are, Brett.
Yeah, how was that not a wreck there? Smith gets into the side of Cruz, and then Smith on the apron. They somehow all keep it racing the right direction here. Wow. Here with 3 laps to go, Darling's going to try and hang on to a podium spot, but Zach Nichols faster once again by a half a tenth on the 88 machine. So here comes Zach Nichols for a podium, and don't look too far down. Oh, contact. They try and block down the backstretch. Man, oh man, some aggressive racing this time at the stripe. Popsicle sticks up in the air, and Hayden Swank is to the back bumper of Ron Hart for the win here tonight.
Yeah, bro, we got multiple battles, and they aren't over as Zane Cruz doors Al Smith, and I think this one isn't done with these guys in the top 5. I think these positions are going to shake up.
Yeah, like you said, Smith sent up the racetrack there. He will get the wall. He gets in the back of the 6. Al Smith sideways. He will smash pit road, and no yellow flag. They stay racing. White flag is out, and here we go. Does Hayden Swank have anything for Ron Hart? Wow, wow, wow is all I can say. And here we go through 3 and 4 for the final time. It looks like Hayden Swank won't have enough off of turn number 4. Ron Hart will pick up the win here tonight. The Hitman will add another notch, Carson, and pick up the checkered flag. What a drive by Hayden Swank, and how about Zach Nichols to rebound in another race for a podium?
Yeah, Brad. The guys in front of him just started to fall back, and even though he had the bad luck early, he had more tire than him and was able to drive up to 3rd.
Yeah, that is definitely awesome as Ron Hart smacks the wall on the front stretch trying to burn it down here. You can tell Ron Hart is pumped up here tonight.
Yeah, Brad, he's had some bad luck in the ASRC series, and he's been destined for a win, and tonight he got it done.
Yeah, that he did. Like you said, Carson, luck not on his side here, and definitely changed it up here tonight. Able to bring that thing to victory lane, so it looks like he's finally done with being on that motor here after the race, and I think we had to do a quick commercial break and talk to our top 3 here in a minute. Any final words before we go to break, Carson?
No, that was just some great racing, Brett. We saw some calamity there right before the end of it. That's tough for Al Smith, man, because I know he wanted a good finish. He doesn't run this much, but in the end, Zane Cruz would give 5th with that, and Ron Hart gets the job done.
Yeah, that he does. So we'll be right back, folks, to a commercial break. On the other side, we'll get ready for our post-race interview. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in 2 minutes.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
All right, folks, we come back here with our third place finisher, that being the 44 machine of Zach Nichols. Zach, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yeah, we do.
All righty, man. We'll start first with the race. What a crazy race for you. What a rebound to finish third when it's all said and done.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, with this in the Street Stock series, it seems like we just keep putting ourselves in a hole early on the races and having to fight our way back up. But with the draft and stuff in this one, I was lucky enough to be able to drive up there and get a top 3.
Yeah, I tell you what, that was very impressive to see, and even more impressive was some of those moves. I mean, some of those 3 wide moves right on top of people, and we saw even you and many other drivers, even think about that 3 wide going into turn number 1, and everyone seemed to make the better judgment there. I mean, what was the issue with trying to go 3 wide, or what was the judgment to make it 3 wide or not?
I mean, I felt like the 3 wide on the very, very bottom wasn't what you wanted to do. I found that out pretty quick when I tried it, but the 3 wide on the middle or the top lane seemed to work pretty good on the exit of the corners, and you get a massive run. So yeah, I mean, we made some 3 wide moves and we were able to drive up there.
Yeah, definitely very, very impressive there. And a few scrapes on the car. One of those coming late in the race there. You and Chuck Darling get together on the backstretch. I mean, how much of a Parker moment was that?
Oh, it was scary for sure, because when we touched, it shot his car even more to the left, and I thought we were both flying to the inside wall. But luckily, we both were able to hang on to it and both have a solid showing.
Yeah, that you guys did. It seems like after tonight with Jada missing the race, it will be a dogfight between you and the 88 going points-wise. I know it's still fairly early in the season, but I mean, you have to be thinking big picture trying to defend that championship.
Oh, 100%. Chuck's having a fantastic start of the season. It's cool to see him turn his luck around from the previous seasons, and looking forward to going head-to-head against him in the points.
Yeah, and then going a little bit earlier in the race, let's say Rockingham seems like it can have the big one, and that struck once again here tonight. How'd you try and manage to get through that, and with all the chaos going on going into turn number 1 there?
Well, I think I caused the first big one with Jimmy. I turned him, and then I flew in the wall, and then I think he got ran into by a couple other people. But the second one, yeah, I was getting through it pretty well, and then Andrew Hardings, he slid up the track right as I thought I cleared it, and I got him with the right front. So it was unfortunate, but we got all the damage fixed and was able to come back.
Yeah, I was going to say, by the end of it, didn't seem like that car had too much impact in the speed when it was all said and done.
Yeah, the right front definitely had a little bit hinder on the saving the right front tire, because it started getting really, really tight there at the end. But yeah, I mean, it was a fun race, and I'm looking forward to next week at Nashville, or I think it's Nashville. I'm not sure.
Yep, we go to the Nashville Fairgrounds, so another kind of driver's track. And speaking about those driver's tracks and you being a wheelman, I mean, once again, another quick time here and beating your old track record here tonight with I think a 27-0. I mean, what was the key for the speed here, and what did you kind of figure out at the Rock once again?
Yeah, I noticed a lot of people in practice, like they were like entering a car length up into one, and I felt like if you entered right on the yellow line, it like had like a weird like grip lane or something like that, and it allowed you to just hook the thing. So yeah, we found that in practice, and I really think that played a key in putting down a quick lap.
Yeah, that it did. Had you start in the thick of things and once again able to drive up to the front. Once again, Zach, awesome, awesome job here tonight with another podium finish. So before we let you go and celebrate this podium finish here, I'm going to go hand the mic over to you and let you thank who you got to thank. Either people tuning on in, some of those all important teammates, and some of those all important sponsors on the car.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Carney's Complete Auto Service, Corgan Oil Company. They help us a ton out, or they help us a ton in the real life stuff, and I'd like to thank you guys for broadcasting. You guys do a great job. It's a ton of fun to go back and watch each race and whatnot. And my dad's watching, like shout him out. My uncle Kenny, he's watching as well. And yeah, that's about it. Oh, and Jimmy, he was my only teammate in this race, so I'd like to shout him out, even though I wrecked him. But like to shout him out.
Yeah, always some teammate violence, never a good thing, but I'm sure you guys will have a great time here tonight. So once again, Zach, congrats on the third, my man. Hopefully you can continue this momentum next week into Nashville Fairgrounds.
Yeah, thank you.
Alrighty, Carson, that was our third place finisher and quick time here tonight, Zach Nichols.
Yeah, Brett. The quick time driver had to start 12th with the invert and had some friendly fire early, like he touched on with Jimmy there, but rebounded. And I think the big thing with him was he's probably just buying his time, trying to save his tires a bit more than the other guys around him, and it paid off in the end.
Yeah, that it did, because he was a man on a mission there in those closing stages. So why don't we talk about another driver that was on a mission, it seemed like, here tonight. That is our second place finisher here, the 35 machine of Hayden Swank. Hayden, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yes, sir. I got you. How are you doing?
Oh, we're doing pretty good. How we feeling tonight, Hayden? Second week in a row we're talking with you. That has to feel pretty good in it of itself.
Yeah, runner up is always, something to be happy with in this series. Having it 2 weeks in a row, that might be a little bit frustrating, but either way, I'm still really happy to talk to you. Just really busy evening here. As soon as this race ended, I had to hop off and join the ERA race. So hopefully we can carry a little bit of that momentum from the good finish tonight into this race here after.
Oh, nice. So yeah, that ERA race. So what car track combo is that going to be tonight?
That is going to be the NASCAR Cup car at Daytona. So clearly we are set to have all kinds of fun tonight.
You got a little chaos here at Rockingham. Now you get some more than at Daytona.
Yeah, I would say it was a good warm up, but to be honest, that race was so chaotic and so intense. I'm not sure we're going to see anything like that tonight.
Yeah, as luckily you were kind of in front of those big ones, but going into your mirror, seeing that kind of calamity, I mean, what was your thought process? What was your game plan going into tonight? Because Rockingham, definitely one of those driver racetracks here.
Yeah, I just knew track position, like any of these races, but especially tonight, was going to be incredibly crucial. So the goal was just to stay out front as much as we possibly could.
Gotcha. And yeah, you were able to do that, but it seemed like one car you could never quite shake there. And, maybe came up to you after the post race there, that 88 machine of Chuck Darling. I mean, you guys battled, it seemed like, every lap here tonight.
Yeah. I mean, we had some really great battles tonight. I was super happy racing with Chuck. Unfortunately, I just got into him there. I was trying to push him because I felt like if we could make a run on that outside, if we could have made a run on the inside later, we could have made it to the front. But I just got a little too aggressive doing it the one time, and the other time it just felt like I wasn't given enough room. So again, a lot of fun racing with him. I just felt like in that specific situation, it just didn't play out right. I feel for him, but I'm still happy to see him finish in the top 5.
Yeah, that it definitely is. He still will hang on to his points lead without Kratachi being here. And yeah, Hayden, so, kind of a lot of technical tracks. We had the Mini last week, Rockingham this week. Then I bet one of your more favorite tracks, the Nashville Fairgrounds next week. How are we feeling about that place?
You know, we've done well at some tracks that I'm a little bit more iffy on. So I think if we get to a track that I know I can do well on, that I've had experience with, done well at in the past, I think it's going to be a really great night for us. And maybe that's all it takes for us to break through to P1 here.
Yeah, as I tell you what, and I'm sure you know the motto, you're up there enough times, luck has to come some way, and you finish that one spot better, right?
Yeah, yeah, you would think so. So hopefully we see that before too long here.
Yeah, hopefully as well, Hayden. So, alrighty, well, awesome stuff. Kind of like you said, the track position. Was there any big tire fall off, or would you kind of manage for that side of stuff with the setup and that sort of stuff with tonight?
Yeah, yeah, I know Rockingham's a high wear track, but I've ran a few races here in a bunch of different series lately. In the tire wear is high, but there's really not many ways of mitigating it. So I felt like I spent a lot of my time running as hard as I could. And those last 4 laps, I absolutely did cook my right front. It was not wanting to turn whatsoever. But um, again, this is kind of an unusual strategy for me, but I think it worked out tonight.
Yeah, I think so as well. Because I think if this race was a little bit longer, you could have had something for Ron. Because on the white flag, you were definitely right on that back bumper.
Yeah, yeah, there was a moment with I think 4 or 3 to go coming off of 4 where I thought I might be able to pull up alongside, but just didn't quite, time the exit there right, and that's just part of it. So hopefully we we're able to capitalize on it in the future.
Yeah, hopefully as well, Hayden. So before we let you go and get ready for this ERA race, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank, either sponsors, people watching at home, or anyone else you'd like to shout out on the broadcast here.
Yeah, yeah, just huge shout out to the ASRC again for always putting on this show. I think this is between both series our best season we've ever had. We've got great racing, we got great energy behind it, and I'm always excited to compete here. And also, huge shout out to Lucky Ducks Motorsports and when it could be competing for them here in the area league. And I'm just really excited to be a part of that too. So huge thanks to everybody that helps us, put the show on, get us out here, and hopefully we're talking again for a third week in a row at Nashville.
Yeah, hopefully as well, Hayden. It's always great talking to you, and 2 weeks in a row, that's got to feel pretty good. So, you, my man, have a great rest of your night, and good luck in your next race at Daytona.
Thank you. Yeah, that'll be the trick.
All righty, Carson. That was Hayden Swank, our runner-up finisher for the second week in a row. And I tell you what, mid-season here, that 35's heating on up.
Yeah, Brad, I think he's bound to get a win at some point. But again, the bridesmaid here tonight, but putting together great finishes for the points. And at the end of the day, that's probably the most important thing than just individual wins. But we saw him battling Ron for a long time, and Ron just was able to prevail there.
Yeah, that he was. And speaking about Ron Hart, let's go talk to the man down in Victory Lane, the 51 machine, Ron the Hitman Hart. Ron, do you got a copy?
Yeah, we got you, Brett.
All righty, my man. You seem pumped up there doing those burnouts on the front stretch, knock the front nose cone off the car. So I think you're pumped up. How we feeling, my man?
A little rusty at the burnouts, man, but it felt good to get back in victory lane. Been too long. Had some good runs recently, so I'm happy to put one together.
Yeah, I think, you in Victory Lane, definitely a fan favorite out here with the amount of starts you've had here at ASRC and your wins. I mean, looking at the stats, you're the third most winningest driver here in ASRC. And with the win here tonight, that puts you one win behind Andrew Payne for second.
Perfect, man. I mean, it's cool. I got this banner sitting up here on the wall in front of me, and I kind of been sucking in these street stocks. And I looked at it and I was like, damn, I had 4 street stock wins one season before we got all these good guys in here and who really are aces in the street stocks. So it gave me a little confidence tonight to get back out there and kind of show them, the old ASRC guys still got it.
Yeah, that you guys do. And with some kind of older throwback stuff, I mean, I always love this 51 paint scheme out here. And I'm sure you could say a little bit more about that car and the meaning this scheme has to you.
Yeah, man, it's cool. It matches the real car, and we've painted our real cars with house paint and duct tape for 15 years now. And you see guys who spend thousands of dollars on wraps. I just can't afford to do that. So we'd make some pretty good looking paint schemes, I think, out of duct tape. And Tanner was nice enough to paint me one up, and I guess that's what we needed to go a little faster.
Yeah, that it was, because this thing looked, on rails, started outside pole when it was all said and done. And you had some great battles with Chuck Darling, Zane Cruz, and then holding off Hayden Swank there at the end. It wasn't an easy win by any means here tonight.
No, man. Chuck and I have been racing his teammates on here in ASRC for a long time. So we were trying to work together to hold up front, and he kind of got shuffled back, but did a good job of rebounding top four. And really impressed with Zane lately, man. He doesn't have near as many laps on this thing as most of us do who run up front. He had 2 good runs the last 2 nights. So it was a fun battle up there for sure. I knew the key was to get to the lead and save that right front. Really focused on that for most of the race and just rolled right around the bottom. And I think that helped at the end to hold off Hayden because he was going really hard and kind of ran out of tire. You have that draft that pulls you back to the lead car and you can't really get away, but I was able to have enough tire to hold him off in the corners that he couldn't get a run up beside me.
Yeah, and we heard it all night long about saving those tires. I mean, what'd you figure out to save those tires? Was it more line dependent or taking it easy on entry, focus on that drive off?
I think too many guys cooked it in, man. Especially I learned when I was behind Hayden and staying there early racing real hard that they were both sliding up the track. And I could really get a good run just by playing that left front on the yellow line all the way through 1 and 2. And 3 and 4 was pretty easy because you're about wide open. But 1 and 2, you really had to hit it. And I think most guys kind of were running the top too high there. And I talked to Chuck and he tried it and started picking up some speed. So I think committing to that the whole race, I don't think I ran the top hardly at all today. So committing to that bottom just really helped save it and have something at the end.
Yeah, that it did. That 51 machine looked on rails and down in victory lane once again. Once again, huge congrats, Ron. How are we feeling for next week as we go to the Nashville Fairgrounds, another driver track? You and Hayden Swink kind of on a run here of some good runs with some very technical tracks. And of course, the Fairgrounds, another one like that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously everybody knows Street Stock's just my favorite car. Just can't wish we race these every single day, every week. Just good, feels good to get a win in it. Next week I'll make the late model stock. Unfortunately, I'll be out of town for work for the Street Stocks, so we won't be taking advantage of the shotgun rule. I guess I'm not too sad about that, but really looking forward to getting the late model out there at Nashville. Definitely a fun track, hard to drive. The harder they are to drive, to me, the better. So should be a fun race in both series next week. And sad I'm going to miss this one, but I'm sure it'll be a good show. I'll be watching it from the hotel in Texas.
All right. Yeah, that's a bummer. We won't have you on track, but will be awesome to get you back here in 2 weeks in the streeters. And of course, always a great time to have you out there in those late model stocks. Hopefully your luck turns around in that series.
We've got some good speed there, just not quite as good as those guys on pace, man, to hold them off. I got the lead last night and just Zach's good, man. I don't know what he does, but just didn't have enough to hold him off. So we need a couple spots better there. But this one felt good redemption to get one tonight after losing it last night for sure.
Yeah, I bet it does. So, Ron, before we let you go and celebrate down in victory lane here at Rockingham, we're going to go hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank, either of those all-important teammates, some of those sponsors, or anyone else maybe tuning on to the stream here tonight.
Yeah, man. First is Race One Wraps for sponsoring the series. Mark and those guys do an awesome job, and not only helping here, but making a lot of race cars look good. I always get my stickers for my race car that aren't duct tape, the numbers, name, and sponsor logos from Mark. So he does a great job. And thanks for all the admins for putting this on. It's pretty cool. We talked about how many good drivers we have in here now, and we had some good ones before, but the level of competition and just overall racing in ASRC the last 2 years have really taken off, man. And just really well-run professional league, and you guys do a good job with it. So thanks for giving us the place to race every week.
All righty. Well, appreciate the kind words there, Ron. And you, my man, have yourself a great rest of the night. Go party it on up.
Thanks, guys.
All righty, Carson. That was our race winner, Ron Hart, down in victory lane for his 21st career win here at ASRC.
Yeah, good for Ron, man. I know, like we touched on earlier, he's had some bad luck. He mentioned how last night he was right there, just couldn't quite get it done. And very different race here tonight compared to last week's street stock race where Matthew Modulewski went wire to wire. Here tonight, a lot more battling, but Ron was able to prevail.
Yeah, that he was. So I think, Carson, real quick, we'll shout out our sponsors, and then I think we got to run through tonight's post-race report and see where everyone finished here tonight. So real quick here, we got to give a big shout out to, like they mentioned there in the broadcast, Race One Wraps. You can see them on screen. You can find them on Facebook with @Race One, and they do a lot of great stuff supporting both virtual racing and the real life racing, both with wraps, t-shirts, designs, of course, cool metal signs, as well as all sorts of other cool stuff. So if that interests you, be sure to check out Race One on Facebook. They do some awesome work. Of course, got to give a shout out to LaPlante Racing Products, as well as our caution sponsor, that being Boardwalk Subs. If you want some of the best subs in West Michigan, be sure to check out your local Boardwalk. And then the big series sponsor coming on board with Tuesday night is, of course, Postma Flooring, coming on board with some great flooring stuff. So, Carson, let's run through tonight's finishing orders here at the Rock. So Ron the Hitman Hart will pick up his first win this season. He will park it in victory lane. Tis out, well, not that anymore, right, Carson? We're not going through the grid.
Yeah,
So
I've done it.
Finishing second will be the 35. That is Hayden Swing. Rounding out the podium here tonight with a great rebound run for the 44. That is Zach Nichols. And then finishing in P number 4, our once again points leader by himself, the 88. That is Chuck Darling. And then rounding out our top 5, what a run by this guy. Coming on in here with a few laps under his belt here in the sim and making a splash. That is the 7 of Zane Cruz.
And then to pick up from there, we got 3 big movers in a row here, Brett. Finishing 6th in the 038 cards, Braden Cook up 15 spots. Finishing 7th in the 003 is Mike McCaskill up 17 spots. And then finishing 8th in the 06 is Mark Fuquay up 7 spots. So good moves for those drivers. Finishing 9th behind them is the 18 of Devin McDonald. And then to round out your top 10, it's the 52 car of Jeff Dillon.
Then just outside of the top 10 here will be the 17 of Greggy Long, finishing in 11th. 12th going to the 2 car, that is John DeMeester. 13th involved in that first yellow, able to rebound to 13th. That is the 02 of Jimmy Gauker. 14th going to that special paint scheme of Andrew Hardings here for the mental health awareness and men's health awareness. That is the 45 of Andrew Hardings. And then to round out the top 15 will be the 013 of Caleb Ramsey.
And then finishing 16th will be the 66 of Stephen Rochford. 17th, the 93 of Andrew Payne. We talked with him and saw his incident that he was caught up in, just an innocent involvee. 18th will go to the 24 of Shane O'Neill, the first car lap down. 19th will go to the 38 of Dave Payton. And then to round out your top 20 will be the 96 of Al Smith, and he had a tough break there right at the end coming to the white flag.
Yeah, definitely would have had an easy top 10 finish, battling inside the top 5 there, so a heartbreak to Al there at the end. Then in 21st, it is Ethan Tyrell. 22nd going to Tim Rogers. 23rd is Zach Hoyer. 24th is Ty Delphia. And then Jaden Kratachi not making the start here, so that will do it from our racing action here at the Rock. And Carson, final thoughts. What are we feeling? What are we thinking here as we get ready to head to Nashville Fairgrounds next week?
Yeah, Brett, great racing here tonight, and Nashville Fairgrounds should be just as fun. We're going to have a big point shakeup after tonight with Jaden Kratachi missing the race and Matthew Modzelewski, last week's winner, also not here. So I think Zach Nichols and Chuck Darling are going to be right there now with Jaden Kratachi heading to Nashville.
Yeah, it's going to be a barn burner here because coming into tonight, Darling and Kratachi were tied in points. That is not the case here walking out of the Rock.
Yeah, I think all 3 of those guys are going to be right there on points. And Nashville in the inner will be next week's race, a longer race. So we'll have to see how these guys survive it.
Yeah, that we will. So we will wrap things up here. Once again, this has been Turn 3 Racing Network. Be sure to tune into Turn 3 throughout the week as we have a lot of great sim racing coverage and action for everyone to enjoy. Of course, if you want to watch some more of the American Sim Racing Club, be sure to tune into Tuesday nights as well, as these guys take on the late model stocks at the same tracks as the street stocks here on Wednesday nights. Also, Turn 3 is partnered up with Premier Setup Shop, so if you guys wouldn't mind, there is a link in the description that will take you over to Premier. Even if you're not buying anything, it still shows that we are supporting them as they support us. Also have to give a big shout out to the American Sim Racing Club, the admins, the drivers, to put on a show that we can all enjoy. And of course, you, the fans, tuning on in at home. All live viewers here, big shout out to you guys jumping on board, spending your Wednesday nights with me and Carson, as well as all the replay viewers. So I think that will do it here, Carson. And yeah, I'm pumped up for Nashville here next week.
Can you believe, Brett, it's already the 5th week of the season next week? This season's been flying by.
Yeah, it has. It's been incredible. Some great racing and some great battles, great racing, great drama. We have a little bit of everything here to enjoy each and every week, and it makes these races fly on by.
Yeah, Brett, and I'm excited for next week being a longer race. I don't really like these shorter races. I feel like they fly by, and you don't see as much crazy action. So next week, stay tuned, everyone. It should be a lot of fun, and you should see a lot of battling.
Yeah, that it will be a great one here. So you can catch that action same place on the Turn 3 Racing Network, same time, going live at 9, except these cars will be at Nashville. So everyone, have a great rest of your week. Take care, stay safe, check in with your friends, family, and anyone that you do care about, because as we mentioned before, a little bit of a more somber note to kick off the racing here tonight. So make sure we are taking care of everyone, because everyone does matter.
Yeah, Brett, you couldn't have said that any better. And it's true. We just check in. That's a big thing. Just check in with loved ones and friends and family every once in a while, and just see how everyone's doing. Make sure they're safe and feel loved and all that stuff.
Yep, very true, Carson. So we will catch you guys later. I've been Brett the Jet in the booth here, and I just flew by you. Have a good one.
See you, everyone. Thank you for watching.